The Garden That Changed Its Shape. English Story Level 2. Mara lived in a small yellow house at the end of a quiet street. Behind the house was a garden that her grandfather had planted many years ago. It had a wooden bench, a stone path, and rows of flowers in every color. Mara loved reading books there after school. One afternoon, when she entered the garden with her favorite adventure book, she noticed something strange. The stone path was no longer straight. It curved gently to the left, even though it had always gone straight toward the bench. At first Mara thought she was imagining things. She put her book down and walked around the garden, checking the flowers and the bushes. Everything seemed normal except for the path. She decided not to worry, but the next day, another change surprised her. The wooden bench had moved from the right side of the garden to the left. It was impossible. No one could move that heavy bench without effort. Mara felt a thrill of curiosity. Something magical was happening. The next morning, she woke early and went to the garden again. This time, the entire layout had changed. The roses now grew near the fence, the sunflowers stood in the middle, and the stone path formed a circle instead of a curve. Mara stood still for a long moment, trying to understand. Then she noticed a tiny glowing light moving between the flowers. It darted like a firefly, but brighter. She followed it carefully, not wanting to scare it away. The light hovered beside the old oak tree and suddenly grew brighter. Before her eyes, the bark of the tree shifted and opened like a small wooden door. Mara gasped softly. From inside the opening stepped a tiny creature with leaf-like hair, green skin, and bright amber eyes. It was no bigger than her hand. The creature smiled shyly and introduced itself as a garden sprite. It explained that it cared for magical gardens and kept them alive by moving the plants into the best places. Mara sat on the grass, amazed and delighted. The sprite told her that her grandfather's garden had always been magical, but its magic had been sleeping for many years. When Mara began reading and spending time among the plants, the magic awakened. The garden began shifting and rearranging itself to grow stronger and healthier. Mara felt proud and honored that her presence had helped the garden return to life. The sprite invited her to help design the garden's new shape. Together, they created patterns of flowers and paths that curved like gentle waves. Mara learned how each plant liked sunlight, shade, or soft wind. The sprite showed her how to listen closely to the rustling leaves, because the plants whispered their needs through the sound. Mara practiced every day and became better at understanding the soft language of the garden. Over time, the garden became even more beautiful than before. The colors were brighter, the scent sweeter, and the air around it felt warm and welcoming. Mara kept the sprite's secret, knowing the magic was delicate and precious. She visited the garden every day to read, talk to the plants, and watch it change in small ways, always alive, always growing. Many years later, Mara would teach her own children how to listen to leaves and notice the quiet magic of nature. The garden stayed full of life, shifting gently with the seasons, as if it remembered the girl who helped it breathe and bloom again.